What's up, Packer Nation and Football Nation? It's Chad, the Cheesehead Easterling, back with another edition of the Pack Attack, and we're talking about Super Wild Card Weekend this week. The Packers aren't actually in this because they do have the first round bye, but we do have several games to watch, as we do need to see who we are going to end up playing in the divisional round next week. As I do go through these predictions, I am not going to give the scores. I am just going to say who I think will actually win the games. And we are going to start off in order with Saturday at 4:30 p.m. We got the Raiders versus the Bengals at Cincinnati. So you got the Raiders coming in clutch again. They start off the season with a field goal for the win, and now they have another overtime win with a field goal, putting them into the playoffs to go up against the Bengals. With all the situations they've had with them this year, losing their head coach, losing Henry Ruggs to a DUI, it just didn't seem like they were going to be a team that actually would make the playoffs, but it seems they have come together and somehow sneaked their way into the playoffs, and they're going up against a very good team with the Bengals. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are just lights out. They are just clicking as well as they did at LSU back in the day, and it hasn't changed going into the NFL, even with all the remarks in preseason with Jamar Chase couldn't catch a ball. The Raiders could put up a fight here in this game. I mean, they do have a decent defense, but at the end of the day, I just see Joe Burrow and the Bengals taking the win on this game, so I do pick the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game. Then you got a rematch from two different matches that they had, which were both very different matchups, with the Patriots going up against the Bills in Buffalo. And the first game they had, you had this very unorthodox game with the wind blowing very harshly, and that's what led to Mac Jones only throwing the ball 3 different times in that game, and they did win that game just running the ball. But then in the second game, you had the Bills going up against them at Buffalo, and they did win that game against the Patriots. Mac Jones has shown traits of being a very good franchise quarterback. Through the year, he's had his up and downs. You've also had the defense showing up a lot during the season, so they could do well against the Buffalo Bills. But also with the Bills, you've had some inconsistencies as well. Josh Allen has played pretty much for the most part lights out all season. There's been a couple of times where he hasn't played as well as he usually does. And then the run game at times has been not there. I just don't think they're really having a big committee in the back there. They don't really have the personnel they probably need to win them a Super Bowl this year. But nevertheless, I do think that the Buffalo Bills will pull out the win in this game, and they'll win in Buffalo. Then on Sunday at 1 o'clock, you have the Eagles going up against the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay, Florida. And, you know, when you look at this matchup, you automatically say, okay, I think Tampa Bay is probably going to win this game. But you can't really count the Eagles out here. They do have Jalen Hurts, who is a rushing quarterback, and they've actually put up the most rushing yards as a team all the way up through Week 18. So don't count them out because, I mean, honestly, they could pull the upset here. They are one of the teams that I could think that could make an upset here. On the other side, you do have Tom Brady, and you can't ever bet against Tom Brady. And he's also going to have a lot of his weapons coming back, just like the Green Bay Packers do. So you got Leonard Fournette coming back, and then you also have Mike Evans getting healthier. They're just in a place where their defense is also going to get healthier. So I just believe that this team is going to be more dangerous through the playoffs, just like they were last year. So with that said, I do think that still the Buccaneers will beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Tampa Bay, Florida. So after that game at 4:30, you're going to have the 49ers coming into Dallas to go against the Cowboys. And, you know, the Cowboys have had a great defense all year. They actually have 2 possible defensive players on there, could be Defensive Player of the Year. You automatically probably have Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, which is Micah Parsons, on that team. And their offense has been clicking pretty well as well. I think that, you know, Dak Prescott has played pretty consistent this year. He's had 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, pretty close to what Aaron Rodgers' numbers are, except for the interceptions. And then on the other side of the ball, you have the 49ers, who as of late have become a hot team and are winning a lot and making their way into the playoffs by winning their last game. So I just see this being a down-to-the-wire type of game. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the best consistent quarterback, but he has the weapons around him with Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel playing at all positions. So it is going to be a close game with them. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to saying about the upsets. I do see this being an upset game for the Cowboys, and the 49ers will actually win and go up against the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round next week. Then on Sunday Night Football, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I honestly don't know how the Steelers somehow got into the playoffs. They shouldn't even be here. And they're not even the greatest team. I believe they're probably the weakest team in the NFL playoffs this year. And on the other end, you got this Chiefs team who at the very beginning of the year, the defense was playing like shit. They weren't playing good at all. But somehow they turned that around. They got better on defense. And not only that, their offense got back to the regular form of where it always was, taking time off of drives, leaving the offense on the other side off the field, making it to where their defense were capable of actually winning games for them. Patrick Mahomes getting back to the regular way he always has played. I see him doing great things here in the playoffs. But so going against this Pittsburgh Steelers team, I just feel like they do have a good defense. They have a great pass rush, but the backside is just not good enough. I believe Patrick Mahomes has too much speed with his receivers and also with Travis Kelce going into the middle and in the red zone for him. So I just see this being a win for the Chiefs in Kansas City. And last but not least, at the end of Super Wildcard Weekend on Monday Night Football at 8:15, you have division rivals, the Arizona Cardinals, going up against the Los Angeles Rams. It's really hard for me to decide who I think is going to win this game just based off how their seasons have went. I mean, Matthew Stafford and the Rams, very inconsistent, especially with Matthew Stafford. He's just, as of late, throwing up horrible turnovers. It's going to hurt his team, especially if he plays that way in the playoffs. They're not going to be able to win this game. Then on the other side, you got the Arizona Cardinals, who were probably the top NFL team halfway through the season. They just kind of have let it fall apart on them, and a lot of it has to do with the offense and the defense. They just can't seem to get together as a team. They are not playing as consistent as they usually were through the first part of the season, up until, honestly, they got beat by the Green Bay Packers. But if somehow this defense can tighten up and they do get DeAndre Hopkins back for the playoff matchup, I do see that the Cardinals could actually win this game. I just don't know if Matthew Stafford is going to play well enough in this playoff setting. Honestly, I don't think he's been in many playoff games at all with Detroit. I think maybe he was in one. So I just don't know if he's going to be able to handle the pressure of this game. He didn't handle a lot of big-time games this season, so I do give the win to Arizona Cardinals to upset the Rams. Guys, what do you think about my picks? Do you think the same thing is going to happen? Do you think other teams are going to win? Do you think the Cowboys will get upset by the 49ers like a lot of people are talking about? Who do you think the Packers are going to end up playing in a divisional round next week? Leave your comments down below and let me know. And even though they're not playing this week, keep wearing that green and gold and
Go, Pack, go!